Welcome to Founder Jam, everyone. Man, it is quite a day today. We are at number 12 of Founder Jam. Pretty awesome story. Thank you all for the thoughts and prayers over the past couple of days between COVID shots and cameras up my nose and all this crazy testing and things. I'm sure we're going to get to an answer here, but it was quite an experience. But I wanted to make sure that we got Founder Jam out on the interwebs this week, as we always do. We'll be joined by Joe shortly. We have an interesting group of topics today. We're going to talk about communication. And I know we've touched on this subject before, and communication is really important in business, important in your personal life and with your family. I always talk about communication in all aspects of life. But obviously on Founder Jam, we're about great businesses doing great things in the world. And we focus specifically on founders. And communication as a founder is really important because when you found a business, not only do you need to communicate with hopefully people that are already part of your cause, unless you're a solopreneur, maybe you need to help them join your cause, but you also need to communicate your message to people so that they understand what it is that you do and what you offer and what you bring and what your mission and what your purpose is. I heard a quote the other day, and I'm not going to be able to dictate the entire thing, but in paraphrasing, it said, it's vitally important to dictate your story first prior to specifically what it is that you do. And in communication, that's key. Stories are one of the most powerful, influential things that we can share in our world today. So let's welcome our guy, Joe Nolan, to the stage. Joe, how are you doing this week?
Hey, man, great to be back with you and everyone. Excellent, man. Doing great. It's been a fantastic week so far.
That's awesome. So you, what's been so great about your week? Because I got stories.
You always have good stories, man. If anybody wants stories, hit up, just DM Bobby. You got some good stuff going. Work's been great. We signed some new clients. Can't announce it here yet, of course, but business is good and getting on track health nutrition wise myself. So excited about that. I know we've talked about that a few times. So man, everything is kind of moving in the right direction for now.
Tell me a little bit about the meals that you got going. What you got?
Yeah. So actually I just posted some on Instagram, and I was actually over at the barber shop actually a couple of weeks ago, and a gentleman there turned out he'd lost 60 pounds. One of the barbers, 60 pounds over a couple months using Factor meals, and no special diet or anything, but he was kind of similar to me. He's running around a lot. He's busy. He's just kind of grabbing food on the go, not eating at the right times, not eating the best foods. And, this just adds tons of discipline, great nutrition, super easy to do. I've never done a meal prep service before. And, we're not getting paid for this endorsement here, but I'm 2 days into it. And I have to say the meals are delicious. 3 or 4 minutes in the microwave and they're phenomenal. So if someone's out there, I know there's a whole bunch of services, but honestly, if you're an entrepreneur, I was hesitant because of the cost of any of the services. Sure. And when I started breaking down the time savings, I know actually entrepreneurs who enjoy cooking and kind of get their mind off things. If I had to cook, I'd lose like 100 pounds. I could probably do about with 30, but I'd lose 100 pounds because I'm a terrible cook. So this is, less expensive to going out to eat all the time. It saves so much time. So if you're out there, check it out. You check out Factor Meals, check out some other ones too. But yeah, it's giving me back, at least about an hour a day. So it's
sure. And don't a lot of them give you some kind of trial period or at least a deal up front to see if it makes a lot of sense? So,
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I got this off Instagram ads too. I was still hesitant even after speaking with the gentleman at the shop. And I just was getting a whole bunch of Instagram ads. And turns out the property manager has actually been a subscriber to Factor Meals here, I guess, for a little while. So maybe that's how Instagram targeted me. But
that's cool.
I think I did about a 4-week. I think I did a 4-week. They give you a promo,
nice,
$90 or $100 off. So
hey, check it out. We got We got Chandra wanted to jump in. Good afternoon, Chandra. Welcome to the show. Thanks for jumping on. I hope you got some. If you got any ideas on some of these things that Joe's talking about, go ahead and hit us up. Appreciate you joining the show. That's cool. Welcome, Chandra. So yeah, I think you did about a month.
Yeah, I signed up 4 weeks. I think I got about $100 off total of 4 weeks, and I think this is my third day having them. And yeah, I posted on Insta just now, like kind of back to back today, and a 30-minute break. What would I be eating otherwise? This is super simple. The flavors are amazing. It's not like your regular kind of frozen food at the grocery store. It's been delicious, and I think we have a lot of followers into fitness. The nutrient profiles are very transparent. In fact, I was just eating one at my desk. It is grass-fed, hormone-free, no refined sugars, preservative-free, gluten-free, non-GMO.
Wow, that's quite a list.
It's not air. This one was queso fundido, by the way.
Queso fundido. That sounds fun. So you talked about frozen foods. So I'm at my mom's house right now up in Ormond Beach, which is near Daytona, because I'm at I had to go to Mayo Clinic past couple of days in Jacksonville. By the way, Mayo Clinic taking care of me. Thank you all. My health is super important to me, and it should be important to you too. But so my mom is pulling food out. She's mom. I'm an only child. We talked about with whoever was on the show prior. I think it might have been E. Money. We were talking about me being a mama's boy, and and I'm totally honest. So she's like asking me, what do I need to eat? What can you eat? Because I'm having stomach issues. And she pulls out this bag of frozen sweet peas. And I was like, I nearly threw up in my mouth a little bit. I mean, God bless you, Mom, love you. But frozen sweet peas are not appetizing in the least, even if I felt like that was something that I could eat with my stomach issues. So anyway, what Joe is talking about is not frozen sweet peas. It's highly high quality food without preservatives and stuff. So I don't know if they put preservatives in frozen peas, but it sure tastes like it.
Look, I mean, if you got to do it, you got to do it. I'm notorious for living off ramen years ago with working on some startups. So, if you got to do it, you got to do it. And I would say a lot of these meals too, like they're all about the same price. I know a lot of people right now are cost conscious. They're all about the same price. But I do think if you're an entrepreneur and you look at, an hour a day times a whole week times 7 days, plus it's really good food and it's super easy. So for me, the time savings really did it for me. And so far I've had 4 different meals and they're delicious. So definitely better than fried peas.
Awesome. I'm getting hungry. Well, we should probably get on to the questions before I have to leave and get something to eat.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to feel a little bit better after, dude, I don't even want to get into it. So if someone wants to ask though, they literally stuck a camera that's like 3 feet long.
All right. TMI.
Into my nose.
Dude, save this for the Discovery Channel podcast.
All right. This will be on a different channel. If you want to check out
Discovery Health.
Maybe I'll put it on a different YouTube channel. By the way, if you're on the IG feed, jump over to YouTube or LinkedIn, whatever one of those platforms, so you can jump in like Chandra did a few minutes ago. All right, let's jump into questions. And Founder Jam 12 is on a roll. So let's do it, kid.
Let's do it, man. And great. We are question number 1 is out the door, and we're coming in hot, man. Starting off strong this week.
You like that? You know the song by Andy Mineo, "Coming In Hot"?
Well, it's all over TikToks and Instagram Reels. That's how I know. Yeah, I'm
man.
I'm impressed.
That's my dude. That's from
amazing. Wow.
From a rap perspective, man, he can spit. So, all right, cool. First question: communicating with your colleagues is challenging? Yes or no? This is a simple one. A little softball question to start, right?
Yeah. Oh no! Did he freeze? Did he freeze up? Bobby, you froze.
Did I freeze? I'm here.
Oh, okay. Oh, still got you. Okay, go ahead, man.
I'm good, man. So you were saying a softball question to start.
Yeah, look, I think I guess I'll kick off here. For us, I would say Why am I stuttering? Because it's complex. Communicating with colleagues, I would say, is complex but not challenging, thanks to a
Yeah.
lot of the tools that we'll talk about. So challenging, I would say no, and in fact probably easier than ever before. And we'll get in a little bit later where our big trend now is like over communicating. Like people are always on Slack, always on Teams, email, text message. So it can be quite overwhelming where, I mean, people our age and older, we remember when it was, just email and none of no Slack and Teams.
Mm-hmm.
And
email.
yeah, even before email. I mean, I remember going way back, man. I think didn't IBM used to have something like it was like IBM versus Outlook, right? And then it became Google. So
no, I remember my mom telling a story about when she first came home from work one day while I was in like high school, and her boss was like, "Can you send me an email?" And she's like, "I'm the next room over. Can't I just holler at you? Like, do I have to?"
Oh man, yeah. Well, and I think to the question is, I don't think it's challenging to be honest overall from a tech, from a physicality standpoint, right? Of having these different tools, being in different geos. We work across 3 continents now, 4 continents. Jeez, whoa. And everyone's on these tools, right? So it's actually, I was thinking there was at least 6 or 8. Turns out there's 7, but that's
there's 7.
But I had to Google it, to know. Oh my goodness, my clients are probably going to text me after this. Like, what are you talking about?
My wife is going to text me since she teaches this to her kindergartners.
There's still 7 as of this morning, but who knows? Look, I think for us, we work with varieties of types of clients and people inside the organizations, creatives, analysts, engineers, that sort of thing. So it's not challenging. It's complex because there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of different channels. And I'm very thankful for that because it does increase productivity, I think, and it makes doing business much easier.
Yeah, for sure. I think for us, I used to manage a small team at my previous employer, and this comes up a lot. We're talking about what we used to do, my previous employer in that role. But it's important to know this because when I used to work there, we were in charge of a small team. But the problem was that team was not. We didn't communicate well. Put it that way. So 6 months ago, I would have told you, "Oh, this is very, very challenging. This is a really, really hard thing to do," because we didn't have the systems and the technology, and people's roles were not well defined. And this is another thing. Defining the roles is really important too. And so my job right now in our team there's a team of 2 of us, which is much smaller than what we used to have. But my role right now is communication person. My job is to make sure that everything is being communicated well between the people we work with, between our colleagues, between our third parties, between our strategic partners that offer other services that the people that our families and partners work with that they need. My job is to be in charge of communication. And believe it or not, having one person kind of make sure that everyone is communicating well has been very, very valuable. And then obviously the tools to talk about later have made communication much easier than what it used to be. So challenging, I would say no. Used to be yes, but man, it's important to make sure that you have someone, especially as you grow, who's in control of all that and can make sure that everyone is on the same page. Because there's going to be times where some people they're having a rough day or something's going on, or God forbid their phone die, who knows? And you just can't. Their internet goes down. You never know. So having one point person, and now if your organization, we're talking, this is founder jam, not 15 years in the business with 100 employees jam. But if you get to that point, one person probably not enough. But if you start moving people into that role, I think that could be valuable. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think having a communications point person is good, especially as you grow.
Yeah, and I think even if you're a company like yours and mine, right, around 10 employees, again, different types of employees, different work every day, different skill sets. And I think that's important because different teams use different tools, and it can become pretty messy over time internally with all these different tools. But certainly having someone make the decision on that, create some sort of standards is huge. And, you mentioned like, hey, in companies with 1,500 employees, I mean, it's not as standard as we all would like to think. I mean, internal communications has been one of the most popular industries globally for the last 5 to 8 years.
Absolutely.
There's been a boom there, and yet you will find large organizations that use Microsoft Teams and Slack, and when teams have to cross-pollinate, now they have to use both. You have people using both, and it really does add a lot of complexity and drains productivity. It sounds simple, but if you ever look at these surveys, these employee surveys, it's loud and clear, right? Simplify it, make it easy for your employees to get the job done, and it just creates a much better environment. Why add roadblocks to that?
Mm-hmm. So we got people joining on the IG feed. So just let you know, if you're on the IG feed, appreciate it. Loving the behind the scenes people here checking us out. Obviously, you can't hear Joe right now. You got to jump on the YouTube feed to make sure that you can participate in the discussion. But thanks, John and Kat and everyone else jumping on. I think it's great. Appreciate it. But you can jump onto the Periscope, the LinkedIn, or specifically the YouTube is probably the best place to go. So let's jump to my question too. I definitely appreciate what you're saying, though. When you're talking about all the different strategies and cross-pollinating different technology, it almost can be a little bit overwhelming. So once again, you have someone whose job it is to make those decisions. I think. What do we got for number 2?
Yeah, hey, just real quick before we jump to 2, everybody watching, we just tweeted out. If you just go to Twitter and do #FounderJam, we just posted the link to YouTube there, so you can one click that and it'll be live on your phone, and you'll be good to go, which is great. I know we had a bunch of people asking about that last week. Yeah, so we just sent out the bit.ly link for that. Don't worry, next week it'll be a cool vanity link for everyone, but it's not spam. Click that sucker; it'll take you right over to YouTube page, and you can watch us live on your mobile right now. Yeah, man, go ahead. Question number 2. Let's rock and roll, man. Put it up.
All right, here we go. Bam. Question number 2. Does your company have communication protocols? Man, you're really stretching my knowledge today, man. Between the 7 continents and protocols.
I'm going to blow your mind, man. I'm very passionate about this. You can tell. You guys can tell.
You are.
I'm bringing the energy today, man. This is my wheelhouse. People asked for this, right? They asked us for this topic, so I'm jazzed up about it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So cool. Does yours? You guys are just starting, right? So
no, we are.
What sort of means do you guys have in place, man?
Our communication protocol is Stacy, call me when there's a problem. No,
I'm going to give you an example of that, though. That's very good. Let's not be flippant about that. That is actually very good. Okay.
There's more value there than you might know. Well, definitely. It's pretty much a call me anytime, because things are going to come up that we're not expecting right now because of the stage of our business we're in. But when it comes to specific things that have to happen and workflows, we have specific protocols on which platform to communicate through so that it's documented properly for our own help, and also from a legal perspective with the compliance type of stuff in our industry. And so we have that. We have our CRM enables us to create workflows so that as one thing happens, it either automatically updates the next person and communicates it, which makes my job much easier. Or if it's something that needs some more explanation, then it reminds you to communicate. So like if Stacy works on the analysis of some situation that we're working on for a family, and there's some detailed financial stuff that we need to discuss, and that's her step of the process, if it was something that she just does and clicks a button, it would automatically notify me. But if it's something more detailed, then she can click it off. I'll be able to see that she did her part, but it'll remind both of us that we need to talk about it. Otherwise, the next step will not get done. So we do have protocols, and it's very, very technologically driven, which is part of what we call modern financial management for purpose-driven families, which is what we do at Initiate Impact.
Wow, man, I'm blown away. That's awesome. I think you ticked off so many boxes there. And I know this is in your wheelhouse too, as a comms professional. And so that was fantastic. You talked about CRM. There's some great CRM softwares out there for small business. We should probably do something on that for people. And what I've learned partially from speaking with you, some of my other friends in the legal field, they're very tailored technology systems for these industries. which has been fascinating, right? Because I'm in marketing and communications all day. Is quite different. So you touched on something there. Make that investment if you can. If you're listening, reach out to some of these vendors and see if they can help you streamline your operations, your comms. My story that I want to share, which I tend to get some pretty good feedback on, is how to communicate with people, right? So we often get asked in the social media departments, we have to work with five. I've worked with almost 9 or 10 different teams. Everyone on the team has to work with 9 or 10 different teams across the company. And
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot when you think like creative, branding, finance, HR, legal, external partners with almost each of those, influencers, your talent at the company, like your sponsorship. That's 8 or 9 right there, top of mind. How do you do that and maintain effectiveness? And there's a very low threshold for failure with these teams. And so really simple is something I learned at a company early in my career. How do you communicate? So we base it on priority and urgency, and everyone operates under the same conditions, right? So if it's not urgent, right, it's an email, right? If it's if it's like a level 3, call it a P3, it's an email. If it is a P2, it's a text message, a phone call, or a chat message now, right? And I guess chat is kind of skewed this a little because you can get to people right away. And then most importantly, if it's a P1, it's in person. And we would address any of the communications, even if you can get a hold of somebody, would say P1 hot issue, right? We call it a hot issue, and hot issue could be good or bad. But when we walked into rooms, I tell this story. We were getting trolled on Twitter one day, and we had like 70,000 tweets in 10 minutes negative about one of the companies. And I walked in to get the chief marketing officer, and he was in with the CFO, the CEO, a parent company, a board member. It was like the biggest meeting of the quarter. And I walked in, I said, "Excuse me, like we have to talk about something." And the entire room got up, walked out, and the chief marketing officer, sat there. We discussed the issue. I left, everybody went back in and went about their business.
Because it was a P1.
Because this was a P1. Yes. When you're trolling.
What does P stand for? Priority?
Priority, right?
Yeah.
Priority, yeah. So when you think about it, this could apply even down to if you're running a local shop, right? Or an e-com store, if your website goes down or you can't get a hold of Stacy or you need to get a hold of her right now. Hey, this is a P1, right? So I need to interrupt whatever you're doing. I don't mean to be long-winded, but I have found this to be a tremendous way to manage expectations with clients and with colleagues.
Yeah. I like that a lot, to prioritize them. Maybe that's what I should have had at the previous role when we had a huge book of relationships that we were managing, plus all kinds of different people in different roles that either worked directly for us or worked for our company. It was honestly nutso. And I keep bringing my mom up because I'm at her house, but she was our office manager type for 3 or 4 years there. And man, that woman was on top of stuff because she had to be, right? I mean, it was just constantly something going on. So in fact, she was kind of our communications manager at that point, but she also had other things to do too. So anyway, if we would have had more priorities, it might have been a little bit better. She could have just pinged us with hey, this is a P3, get back to me. Or this is a P2, I kind of need to know in the next little bit, or like, call me now.
Right. And you can see how just that simple structure relieves kind of the anxiety of the moment, of the situation. And naturally, I know we have people watching saying, well, how do you define 1, 2, 3? Well, that's unique to your business, right? Like your P1, 2, 3 is different than mine, right? It's different than a client, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other discussion. But I could see you starting like the wheels churning, saying, wow, okay, that is an interesting way of facilitating communication.
Yes, exactly. Cool, man. That's a great one. I like this question a lot. We get to provide some value there, hopefully. So, all right, what do we got?
Right. Question number 3. Here we go. We got some good followers here on Twitter. Thanks everyone for chiming in. We appreciate it. A bunch of new tech followers here. All right.
We got some technology. Oh, that's huge, bro. We want to be technologically sound That is important to us. And I will get my camera figured out. So just to listen, I'm all about building in public. You may have heard this if you're following me on Twitter. I'm really connecting with some people who are doing this really, really well. I really appreciate this transparency. And so I have had 3 different displays delivered to my house. All 3 of them were broken. 2 of them, well, one of them, the second 2 deliveries were the same broken display. And I finally got one that works now. I got a hardwired internet connection, and I still cannot get the choppy video on the third-party camera. So right now, I'm using this other camera, which quite honestly, I don't like it, but it's better than choppy video. And I could even try to go back to the choppy video. When it's working, it looks good. But when it's not, it's a problem. So I want to be technologically sound. But as you can see, I'm jumping around here like I'm having problems. So this is kind of like I felt after I had the COVID shot yesterday.
I have some ideas, man. I've been chatting with some friends about this. I have some ideas. I'm going to surprise you when we go off air about this video, man. We're going to make it happen.
All right, cool. So number 3, scale to 1 to 5. 1 to 5, huh? Not 1 to 10, but 1 to 5. All right, I like it.
Either 1 to 3 felt a little restrictive.
Yeah, so 5 is a good happy medium there. All right, cool. Are your communication are your communication tools effective? So this is not just your protocols. This is actually the tools that you're using. And for me, the communication tools, like I said, our CRM is vital at this point. In fact, it almost kind of replaces Slack. I've used Slack in the past and a couple other ones. But right now, yes, I really love our communication tools because it enables us to communicate not only directly with each other, but also automatically notates things related to the partner families that we're working with. And if you've heard me say this before, we don't use the word clients. We use the word partners because we want to partner with the people. So if you hear me say partner, that's why. But the families that we partner with now, as Stacy and I are communicating, the important things are flagged in their file, in their digital file. So all those communications don't have to be duplicated and saved, which is, I mean, that talk about a time suck in our previous role, having to redo notes and all these things. Now I know exactly what Stacy's talked about with them. She knows exactly what, if I've had to speak with them, and it's so much easier. So I'm saying 7 on a scale of 1 to 5.
Woo, man.
Now we got to, as we grow a little bit, that could change. But for the 2 of us right now, it's work. And you know what? It's all relative too. Comparing it to what we used to deal with, I think is maybe why I feel like it's that good. I'm not saying that we're the best technological company out there ever, because we're not, but I'd love to be in that range. And right now I feel like we are.
Very cool, man. Very cool. And yeah, I'd go with a 5 or a 6. Although, you know, we have some favorites in that. I think some tools are much easier to use than others. From a how do we put it? The ability to connect with someone, right? And they're using X tool at their company. It's great, right? Absolutely. You get that access. They could be on mobile device. They could be at lunch, whatever, traveling, and you can still get access. Actually using the tool, that user experience is where I feel like everything that's the big differentiator.
Yeah.
You know, and we could chat here in a minute about some of our favorite tools, but the how easy it is to navigate these tools and connect with people, group chats especially, man, big differences between the tools for sure. Some of those I feel like are closer to a 2 and others are a 6.
I hear you. Well, the thing I'm learning about technology, and my creativity is kind of growing, and I'm scratching some itches, if you will, but I'm learning that because technology is so advanced and it's easier for organizations to build programs and softwares, that technology is no longer the newest big thing that's just making something that much easier. Everything is pretty much technology at this point. So every program is going to be hopefully more efficient than it would be without. Otherwise, there'd be no market for it. They would spend all the time and money to build it. But instead of comparing an old school way and a new school way and saying, all right, is my brain better than the computer, or would I rather have the computer because it's more efficient, even though my brain might be better? Now it's, now you're just comparing all these different technologies and deciding which one makes the most sense for your specific business, right? It's no longer AI or human. It's just which AI, which is a totally different conversation, or it's a totally different decision process, put it that way.
Yeah, agreed, man. Agreed.
Cool.
And
well, that was a good question, because we want to encourage people to communicate well. And if you're not being honest and self-evaluating that in your business, then what are you're missing something. I've been in a couple conversations more recently on social, Twitter specifically, about being honest with the things that you're not great at, but not necessarily being a perfectionist, just addressing their problems and learning from the mistakes and being willing to continue on in that process, to continue reaching for your end goal without kind of being stuck. And, you can hear it articulated in a million ways. Perfection is the enemy of good. Perfection is the enemy of productivity. Perfection and progress don't get along, however you want to put it. But if you're trying to be absolutely perfect, there's no technology that's going to be absolutely perfect, especially in this ever-evolving world. So use the one that's best for you and be willing to kind of have some trip-ups over the way so that you can learn and get better. And then in the long run, I think you'll be more productive. It'll be better for you to make progress and do something every day rather than be stuck and not make any decisions. You'll find at the end of those 30 days, let's say it was a month period, you'll have been much more productive by just probably having a few trip ups along the way, as opposed to trying to make it perfect. So, Founder Jam, we're coming in hot here.
Yeah, coming in hot, man. We just shared out here on Twitter. We're getting some great traction today. We just shared out some of our top tools. They're all hyperlinked for you guys. Take a look at some of these. We mixed in some international favorites there for everyone. So we posted those out on Twitter now. And I think now, Bobby, is the time for the Founder Jam rapid fire round, and a little bit of our did you know. So I'm going to tee up the intro this week real quick. So people reached out to Bobby and said, okay, you got to make this. Let's get it going. Let's get some segments. Let's really take it to the next level. And so Bobby and I were jamming a little bit, and we came up with the first episode, the first edition of the Founder Jam Rapid Fire, where it's questions about small business and entrepreneurship around the world. And this week, since it's week one, we're going to keep it very easy. I think we have 4 or 5 questions, very generic. We'll post some of these out on Twitter after. But are you ready, Bob DiPasquale?
I am ready. Founder Jam Rapid Fire. We got to come up with a really slick way of describing this, but Founder Jam Rapid Fire.
I know. Yeah. Look, guys, we're busy. If you're watching out there, we're busy guys. We're trying here. We'll brand it better.
Yeah, we would love for some suggestions. If you got some kind of play on words, some, what do they call it? Onomatopoeia, like, hey, listen, I don't know continents, but I know literary terms, right? So let's get this thing rolling. Hit me with the questions. Joe's going to ask me questions. I don't know. We haven't talked about these
5 seconds. You got like 5 seconds to answer.
How many are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. So that's 25 seconds. All right, I can handle that.
You can handle this. I'm going to try to ask them as quickly as I can to help you out.
Okay, now it's not. Is it one word answer? It doesn't have to be one word. It can be.
I don't think you're. I'm not sure you're going to get any of these, but you could use as many words as you want
in 5 seconds.
All right, as close as you want to the answers. All right, man. Here we go. Starting off easy. Here we go. All right. According to Statista, how many new businesses were started in 2020? I'll give you a hint. In 2018, it was 733,000.
2.3 million.
Is this where we insert the sound effect of like the ant or like the gong? Yeah. That was editor's note for the videographer after this. No, the correct answer is 804,398 businesses less than 1 year old.
So I was about a million and a half off.
Yep. All right. Question number 2. What percent of small business owners work more than 40 hours a week, according to Inc.com?
83%.
Wait, how did you?
Come on.
How did you?
Did I get it right?
If you guys, we don't script this. We tell you it's off the cuff.
I'm a genius.
The answer was 82%.
All right. 83%. So if a couple of you out there watching just work a few more hours this week, I'm gonna get it right on the nose. Right on the dot.
Holy moly.
All right, I was a little off the first one.
Okay. All right. So outside of government, so just talking non-government definition, but in industry terms, how many employees do a company have to be considered a small business?
1 to 100.
Oh, that was close. Do you want another try?
1 to 150.
It's fewer than 500.
Fewer than 500. Okay.
Yeah, this is the generally accepted volume to be considered a small business, not according to the government and taxes and anything like that, but generally accepted. Yep.
So I can hire another 498 people and still be a small business.
Yep. Why not? Oh man, this is fun. I'm glad we are trying this. Okay, and next question. All right, here we go. According to U.S. News and World Report, in 2021, name one of the top 3 best jobs in the United States. So a little bit outside of entrepreneur, but best jobs.
IT specialist.
Oh, you're close. And you know we're passionate about this topic. So
social media manager.
Yes, software developer. Software developer, number 2 best job required. And of course, you can work remote, as it says, and there's high demand. So that's pretty good. And let's see.
What are the other 2?
Oh, good question. The first one is physician assistant, and the third is nurse practitioner.
Oh, wow. I know a couple of those.
Yes. And then a couple of these, though, you cannot learn from home, like physician, dentist, veterinarian, orthodontist. IT manager is number 12, as you mentioned. And data scientist, which is something you can learn and work remote, is number 8, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. And let's see. I was trying to find one more question here leading up to it.
I don't feel under that much pressure. I mean, this is not too rapid. This is good.
Well, our goal was to ease you into it, like a new hire onboarding process.
Yes. We're following the protocol. And
I'm sure that next week, when it's your turn to ask the questions, it's going to be a little more intense.
Yeah. You better come.
If you guys understand our friendship, you can figure Bobby's probably going to bring it pretty good next week.
I'm not going to try to embarrass you.
I'm going to study all. Just remember that I was very kind with these questions, and I don't know how the hell you got that second question right. That was like, that was insane. And real quick, so let me follow up here, man, with real quick some other quick stats that we have here.
Okay.
And maybe you'll get this one. How many corporate customers does Microsoft Teams have as of this year?
Oh my goodness, I have not 457,000.
Okay, I'm really getting tired of you knowing the answers, and I don't understand what 500,000 corporate customers.
Well, they just cut 43,000 of them, so I was exactly.
Oh wow! Yeah, I didn't see that.
No, I don't know, dude. It's a good guess.
I see what you're saying. Hello. Okay, I get you. Oh my goodness.
I think maybe because I was thinking, is it like 1 million? It's like no, 1 million corporate customers is a lot.
Yeah.
So then I figured about 500,000, and I just,
Okay. How many daily users does Microsoft Teams have?
like people, like
Mhm.
individual people. Oh
Individual
man,
users every day who log in.
that's got to be hundreds of millions.
145 million
Yeah.
daily users.
Yeah.
Might be a little. I mean, we have people working at all different size companies. That tool might be a little robust for some of our smaller company listeners. Here's a crazy one also about Microsoft Teams. How much is what was their estimated revenue in 2020? Microsoft Teams alone. How much?
Estimated revenue for Microsoft Teams. Oh boy.
If you get this one, I'm just leaving the show. I'm hanging up. I'm walking out. I'm going to take.
I don't know. This
a
is a tough one. 750 million.
$6.8 billion.
Million?
Billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
I was going to go a couple billion, and I was like, nah.
That's a lot of communications, man. That's a lot of chat messages.
So a lot of people are paying for the advanced service of that. Yeah.
They are. And for comparison, someone like Slack has 156,000 paying customers, and they made last year an estimated $902 million in revenue.
Still pretty nice.
So it's big business, guys. It's big business. We know we have small. I would prefer Slack personally. If you're a smaller organization, I think it's a little bit easier to get up and running. Feels a little bit more like chat messages or Messenger on your phone. So maybe give that one a look if you're maybe 50 people or less. But that would be kind of our recommendation.
Cool. Man, so rapid fire was good. I like it. I like the segment that we're gonna build this thing out for sure.
You're one for 4, so we have to keep a scoreboard now too.
Oh crap! I got
4.
2, kind of.
Oh yeah, you did. I get. We'll give you 2 because it's a Friendship Wednesday here on Founder Jam.
You're within 10% of a number like over hundreds of millions. Like, come on.
Hey man, I'm just checking out Wikipedia here. That's all. I mean, don't blame. I'm just the messenger.
It's funny. Cool. All right, man. Well, Founder Jam 12. We're rolling here. I am on the mend. Hopefully, I'll be back in the lab in the studio next week with a proper working display behind me, and maybe a camera that works. We'll see.
We're going to work on the camera for everyone, and thanks again for everyone. We had a good session today out on Twitter. Got a whole bunch of comments here coming through on the broadcast. We really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, man. Bobby, you want to wrap it up or?
Yeah, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. So here's my message for the week. I was joking about cameras and throats and stomachs and all those things going on. And so today, I don't want to get too graphic, but one of the tests that I was having, the nurse was having a really, really hard time of getting the camera to go into my stomach. It's all the way down. It's really uncomfortable. Not like terribly painful, just super awkward. And she couldn't get the thing to go down because the sphincter muscle wasn't opening to let it go in. So she ultimately had to pull the thing all the way out, which is like a big defeatist type of thing, right? You're the nurse and you're trying to get it in there. That's what you do. And it occurred to me while she was doing that she cared for me as the patient, but she ultimately wanted to reach her goal. And she's like, all right, well, we could try this again. And I could tell that when she was asking me, like, we can try this again if you want, I knew in the back of her mind, it was like, we're going to try this thing again because I'm not going to let the doctor tell me that I couldn't get this test done and put you through all that agony just to get it and not actually have it. So she actually pulled it out, took a minute, took some sip of water, and then started to do the thing again. And now I understood what to expect. So all the little tweaks and feeling that camera go through my throat and all these different things, I knew what I was going to feel, and I was much, much calmer. And she had me take a couple sips of water while she's doing this, and everything happened to work perfectly. And what it taught me was that there are going to be things that we fail at in business, whether it's communication or we choose Slack instead of Microsoft Teams, or we hire someone that we shouldn't have hired. That shouldn't stop us from continuing to look and move forward towards our goal. Because when you experience something as a failure, it's that much easier to be successful with it the next time because you know what to expect. So if you're a business owner, founder, person out there, take those tough times, learn from them, and jump right back in it once you've taken a quick break. So we'll see you next week on Founder Jam. Appreciate all the love. We will catch you at 3 o'clock regular time next week. Thanks all for joining us, Joe. I'll catch you later, man.
Thank you, sir. See ya.